shall we? 1, 2, 1, 2. Over there. Yes, I can see that. Cool. Yes. Hi. Hello. Sorry. Things occur sometimes, and that's just what we have to deal with, which is life. I'll try not to move or do anything shaky that might make things go bad. Anyway, just do put a message just in to say that you can hear my voice. That would be great, and you can see what's going on. You can see me waving my hands, things like that. Am I vaguely in focus? I think I vaguely am. No sound. What again? It's quiet. Well, quiet I can deal with. It's the lack of anything which is the problem. One sec. 1, 2, 1, 2. Is that all right? I can hear myself now. One, two. What's that mean? Automatic mixing. Don't want that. Toggle on and off. This input. I want that, but I don't want to monitor it. I want to turn that down in my headphones, which it is. But I'm monitoring. What am I monitoring through? Do I really care at this point? No. It's what's gone wrong today? Don't quite know. I've now got myself coming through my speakers, which never happens. Oh, I have a thought. Oh, I don't want to download an update, you bugger. 1, 2. No, that's down. 1, 2. So what am I getting this through? Shouldn't be getting that through. Oh well, whatever. It's working. Is it working now? Is who working now? Yeah, I'm asking you, not you asking me. No, I can't stand. Why is it coming through? Think, boy, think. Why am I monitoring? One, 2. I don't want to hear it here. That one. Is that better? 1, 2, 1, 2. No, I can still hear myself. This is very dull. I turn that off. Oh dear. Well, anyway. Yeah, crack open a beer. Way low. What's low? What's high? You're just so contrary this evening. It sounds almost okay. So evidently it's a waste of time asking anybody anything. I just need to just do it for myself. That's what's important. Never do live TV. Yeah, never do live TV. Too right. So how you all doing? All right? I'm just pouring a beer off camera. Okay, in case you're wondering what on earth I'm staring at so intently. Today I've got Beavertown Lunar Haze. There we go. Beavertown, if you're out there, I'm open to sponsorship. Voice is very low compared to the intro music. There isn't any intro music. Well, hey, I can talk closer to the microphone if that's helpful. I just feel it may clip a little. Someone I fear has been fiddling with my bits. That's a bit better. Let's do that. Is that all right, everyone? See, I've got lots of green over there. I mean, green is generally good, right? In a like an audio kind of engineering kind of way. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. So, welcome. You're very, very welcome. Sorry about the shaky start this evening. That's usually not my scene. I like to do things relatively straightforwardly. I've got a light that's not on. There we go. That's even better. You can see my head even more shiny now than before. Purpose of this evening is generally to just have a bit of a chat, see how everybody's doing, talk about synths, talk about music gear, bits and pieces, maybe make some music, have a fiddle with a few bits and pieces. That is the general idea. We try to do it every month after the release of the Molten Music Monthly, which is good to do. Sometimes we have other live streams at other times. Excuse me, who knows? There was a time I did a lot of these things, interviews and stuff, which is nice if you can find the time. So I'm very happy to answer questions on any sort of level, synths, modular, anything you like. Happy to talk about, and we'll see where we get to. I'm still a little bit shaken from our odd start, but hey, that's cool. Much better, says somebody. Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm going to run the synth through now because I seem to be getting this double monitoring. But anyway, I'll have to look into it. Anyways, good to see you here. Thank you for sticking with me and stuff. I'm just going to say a general hello rather than going through everybody. But it's good to see you all here. I appreciate it very, very much, spending a little bit of time. Probably not for too long, although you know how it goes. If I get into actually patching something together and making some music, we'll be here for hours. Hours we will. Just like to point out one little bit of tidying I did today. I removed my my shelf of little blue boxes. You know when you go into your dad's workshop, right? And on the wall there's a whole bunch of these blue trays that's got stuff in it, like old screws, bits and pieces of broken dowel, you know, some model he was once making. Well, yeah, when I first started doing DIY stuff, it's the first thing I got, because I thought, wow, it's really important. I've got to have a bunch of blue trays that I can stick things in, because there's always this stuff you need to stick in to trays, otherwise it gets lost. So I put this in. Actually, I put it in long before that. When I was building computers, in fact, I had that in for similar reasons. And it just sits there and it fills up with stuff until you can't get any stuff in it anymore. And then you don't ever look at it again. And it stays there like some kind of monument to some idea of what DIY was supposed to be about. So I've taken them all down and stuck them in a box over there. I mean, I do look into those trays once in a while. I'm looking for a particular screw or a particular resistor or something of that nature, but very, very rarely. So I've done away with it. And as you can see, I've put my nice Jellies poster up instead. This is exclusive Molten modular artwork, I have to say, which is available on a mug in my Etsy store. So there you go. But that's much nicer, and I feel that it gives me a little bit more space. It feels less crowded over there, and I'm going to try to spend, I don't know, an hour a week slowly pushing the crap out of the shed and making this a nicer place. Because I've visited a couple of people lately and they have much nicer spaces, and I think, why can I not do that? What is it that just makes me an explosion of crap as opposed to a nice working environment? So that's something I'm thinking of doing. I'll see how long that lasts. I give it a week. It's overpriced unless you want to pay for style, says Twin Circles Cities Oxygen. I agree. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, but yes, that's a thing. Oh, hey, you're talking about what are you talking about? So you have to include me in the conversation. I'm not just here. I'm not just here as wallpaper. Yeah, funnily enough, those trays are expensive. It was like I had this geezer come in and he put in a whole load of proper racking shelves, which have been great. I mean, they're as sturdy as heck. I don't know whether I really needed them, but they carry an awful lot of stuff over there. And the metal sheet that had these trays in seemed to be more expensive than anything else that he did. It's kind of crazy. Hi, Pablo. The Zalo mixer, yeah, indeed. So, yeah, all right. I mean, one of the things I thought we could talk about this evening was I put together like the most extraordinary couple of cases of modular ever, which I took to Paulie's yesterday. We had a bit of a laugh playing with some stuff. under, you know, mildly stressful, don't know what I'm doing. I'm in a new environment kind of situation, which was good. But Paulie was incredibly hospitable and lovely, and he's also sort of annoyingly talented in that I was just plugging things in when we got started. I was plugging things in, and I was patching stuff together, and there's various things which are already running because they just are, and this particular sequence was running, and as I sat there, they went and they created a whole arrangement around it as I was just sitting there patching. It's like, well, this is phenomenal. So I have no worries at all about the thing happening, Synth East. And I'm going to play you a bit about it in a minute. What, poor sound again? What do you mean poor sound? Where poor sound? Where is the sound poor? Poor in what sort of poor? You're going to have to be more specific. Is it a low volume? Because I'm getting greens all the way up to the top over there. If I speak any louder, it will be peaking. So what do you mean? Sorry, I don't mean to come down on you like a ton of bricks up, man. But look, you know, you can't just wander in here and say poor sound unless you have some kind of meaning to what that is. Is it too loud? Is it too soft? Is it sounding somehow lo-fi? Am I speaking through treacle? You know, you're going to give me a complex. Sounds fine. Thank you. I'm not designed, if you're watching YouTube on televisions, as people do, I'm not really designed for that. I'm assuming you're watching it on a laptop or, you know, something like that. Okay, good. Much too low. It's as far as I'm going, mate. You're going to have to turn yourself up where you are. I've already had enough trouble with it. Okay, Andy, thank you, mate. What was I talking about? Oh, some bit of rubbish. Yeah, no, right. Okay, well, why don't I do that? And that'll be a good way to see whether the sound is good or bad. So I'll play a little video because we shot a little bit while we were there, me and Paulie, and they sent it through. I'll set that off, and that'll probably blow everybody's speakers, and then we can have a proper debate about whether my microphone is loud or soft, that kind of thing. All right. So how am I? Okay, so here it comes. All right, so stand by your volume controls. Let me try to work this out. Over there. This is this one. I could fade it in, right? Let's see how that goes. So this is me and Paulie. Hopefully this will come through. As I say, it's all gone a bit wrong this evening. Just for a couple of minutes about what we were doing yesterday.
Start this video. What are we playing it on your channel? Look who it is!
Hey!
Look who it is!
Hi! I've come all the way over to Birmingham to see Paulie.
Which is, I was like, this is a bit odd, isn't it? It's quite a way to come, but
it is.
It's been a productive day so far. We've been practicing for the Synth East event, and you'll hear a couple of our meandering little sketches going off in the background while we're chatting.
Yeah.
It seems to be quite encouraging so far.
Yeah. It's been great. I mean, it's a shaky idea because the whole thing around Synth East is very much improvisation and collaboration and just giving it a go because we can. And so I asked Paulie to join me on the Saturday night. So we're supporting, right? Feel and Lulu York, which is going to be excellent. But we're on first. We've got to come up with something. In previous years, we've just improvised modular with last year with Myla and Gaz, and the year before Steve Davis. But this time we're kind of going a little bit more in a synth pop direction, which is great. It should be entertaining, and this might be our only practice.
We've got 2 months to go.
Yes, it could be. We might get one more in, maybe on the jet, like a couple of hours before or something.
Maybe.
Is there a gap between the date? What's the daytime? Tell the people the schedule.
Yeah, well,
the
so for Synth East on the Saturday during the day, we have the Expo, which is where all the manufacturers come, stick their stuff on tables, and you look at it and poke at it and talk to them about it.
Lots of good manufacturers.
Yeah, lots of great people come in to show you their stuff, and during that time we've also got performances, and myself and Paulie will be taking part in that. That is an improvised, thrown together, collaboration of two people just playing some modular, and that's a lot of fun. And that all finishes at about 5 o'clock. And then the evening starts again at about 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay, so there's like an hour or two to panic and just, lose our heads and then be like, I can't find the clock!
Exactly. But the time between 5 and the time it opens again, we've got to turn the hall around. Okay. So we've got to go, first of all, get something to eat, probably more important, and then drag all the tables out, get the stage ready, stage out, get C-Feel in and sound check, everybody else sound check, and then finally we get to sound check. Yeah. So we don't get a whole lot of time at that point.
But we do get headphones.
We do get headphones. So hopefully, yes, a shared clock and getting that working will be an advantage. I think.
Putting it lightly.
Yeah. And between here and now, I mean, I don't know if you saw the photo of the gear I was bringing today, which is 2 great big cases for the stuff. I've got to try to slim that down to 1. If I can get it to 1, with maybe 1 box to play with outside, that would be of a great help, I think.
Definitely. And hopefully see you at Synth East.
Yeah, it's a fun time, it's a fun day. It's very friendly to anyone who has any interest in electronic music. And it's a good laugh, and it's good beer. Norwich Arts Centre, weekend of the 21st to 23rd of February.
It's the place to be.
Yeah, syntheast.com, go and check it out. Check us out. Check me out.
You might get more views on yours, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Well, I'm well loud now. I don't know what's going on with that. I've been running this setup now for years. Years I have. Years. And now I've got this going on. What am I... What's going on? Must be a button I can press which is going to make that stop. What's that coming through? It's not coming... It's coming through there. Just give us a minute, everyone. 1, 2. Because I'm going to need to hear stuff. So why is this coming through? It's definitely coming through. But that's not being monitored because that's monitoring. 1, 2, 1. Oh, I don't bloody know. 1, 2. I can't change anything. I just have to turn that down. It's just going to have a... I could always put some headphones on. You're perfectly balanced now, am I? Great. Super. What, when I was sitting over there not talking into the microphone? So yesterday I went round Paulie's and we had a bit of a play because we are playing in the evening. We're playing the first half hour of stuff before Lula York plays and before C-Feel plays. We have the floor for the first half hour. And that's exciting. That's very exciting. And as I say, previously it's just been modular jamming, but this time around it is going to be that. But I just felt that it would be good to test it a little, just to see if that would be interesting and it would work. So that was good. Yeah, definitely worthwhile going along to do that. We had some ideas, none of which I've saved or recorded or will remember, but certainly what happened, I feel, is that working with a couple of bits, it made me think, yeah, this really works and this really doesn't. It's always useful to sit down and work out in an uncomfortable situation what it is that works well. So for instance, I used the Zertlon mixer, which I don't think I'm allowed to use it particularly. I mean, I've had it in for review for Sound on Sound, but I understand that they're getting it back. So I sort of put it in its box thinking I better not get used to it. And then when I was putting this together, I was trying to come up with a mixing solution. I used my MX mixer, which is a beautiful thing from Feedback. But I suddenly realized that I'm actually needing more stereo channels now because of wanting to use effects. I wanted to use a Molten bypass, which I've got up here, which is a stereo thing. I actually want to use stereo a bit more. And so it seemed to make sense to use this because that's what it has. It has all these stereo inputs. It's a bit wide, takes up a lot of space, which I'm not happy about, but it is a lovely thing, but I don't know it very well. So I'm still fussing around. I mean, there's simple things like you're trying to work out what if I plugged it into channel 1, what if I plugged into channel 3? I have no idea. I'm having to follow cables around. Why can't I remember anything? It's weird. And also it was quite dark in Paulie's room and I couldn't really see what I was doing. So that's always another factor. You need to bring a torch or some form of light, or to have little USB light, something like that, because it's so different being here looking at this with all this lights flooded on everything and actually then taking it to a place where you're likely to perform with it. It's so different. So it's worthwhile doing that, taking that opportunity, because it really does change how you are seeing things. Gave me an opportunity as well to use this new knob technology VCO, which was nice, which was very nice and very colourful. I appreciated the colour a lot. Plasma voice worked all right within its context. I got a bit of div skip in there running the Trinity. That worked all right. Little things. The Detroit Pink 97 over here didn't get quite so much use. I was able to put in a couple of little bits quickly, and that was useful. Thought about that. The double octone sequencers I got up here, that worked really well. The Echo Cinematic from Modular, what a fantastic thing. I get so much fun out of that, whatever it is that I run into it. And this time I used the Algo, the Rick Modular Algo, which was brilliant. So yeah, lots to think about. I also put the ASQ1 in there at one point. Can you see that? Not quite this fella. Because it's something that I've had for quite a while and I've used on occasions, but I've never really got to the complete bottom of it. So I'm always happy when I bring it out and I'm able to use it successfully, because it means I haven't forgotten everything to start with. And it is relatively intuitive and usable and easy to get into, and I want to use it a little bit more, I think. So yeah, always fascinating. I mean, because the crazy thing is, right, that I don't get any time to sit down and play with the Modular so much these days, and that's a very sore point. And taking a day, scheduling in a day to go and spend some time with someone and make some music was absolutely brilliant, because I had to then go and do it. I couldn't suddenly be taking one of my kids somewhere. I couldn't be having to do another thing or to do some work or to get involved in something. I drove for 4 hours away in order to spend a couple of hours making music. Sometimes that's the only way to do it. I think you have to schedule these things in. You just have to leave stuff behind, otherwise you'll go nuts trying to fit everything in. Yeah, so there you go. Any questions? Any questions at this point? What's a good way to place a VCA mixer? How would you CV route it so that an adjacent could control it well? I don't know which module you're talking about, I'm afraid. So I don't know if I could really help you there. I don't know what you mean by place it. You're weirding me out, man. This is random. I mean, it's not completely random. I attempted to build in a sort of a synth voice and then a synth voice and then some drums, but you know, where things are. I mean, I've got the clocks over here, and this runs everything and goes everywhere. I've got a VCA over here, but that's not really relevant to anything. I've got this going into that going into this going over here. Yeah, I think layout is overrated. I think you spend too much time. You lose too much time rearranging your modules. I mean, that's not to say it's not an important endeavor. I try to make sense of things, but more often than not, stuff just ends up where it is, you know. This is my only source of envelopes, is here. You can see that. I can't see anything. This is my only source of envelopes, so that comes out and goes all over the place. So yeah. No, I don't have a modular grid link. There's too much stuff and it changes all the time. It's never up to date or worthwhile. So no, sorry. The cases are Bafako cases. They are beautiful. I love them. They're very much like the IntelliGel ones. They do follow similar a format with an internal board and connections out the back, things like that. And it's compatible with the IntelliGel modules that can connect internally. So it does work with that. But they're nice. They're sleek. I like the blackness and the thinness, and also the fact that this one, for instance, is on an arm, which is just glorious. It's just the best thing. I find that superb. Unnecessary, probably, but superb nonetheless. I like that a lot. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't mean to say it doesn't matter what your case looks like, but it doesn't matter what your case looks like. However, there is value in rearranging it, and it does help. I mean, that's part of the modular idea, is that one of the advantages of it is if you get yourself stuck somewhere where it's like, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again, if you rearrange your modules, you'll find that you'll end up doing different things. It's crazy, but that's just how I found it. I think that's how it is. And it's something that you can't do with a hardware synthesizer. You can't change the way it looks, but you can very much with modular. You can suddenly put something somewhere else, and it comes alive in a different way. It doesn't make any sense, but it's what happens. I don't use a Boss tuner now. I've got a little tuner module here. Zip. Which you can't see because of the arm of the mic is in the way, which is partially helpful. Otherwise I use an NTS2, I think. The reason that it's only partially helpful is because it runs on lights, which is great, but I tend to tune to C, and C is right at the bottom, so you've got kind of a light at the top and a light at the bottom showing you that it's right, and I just wish it was a little bit more in the middle. So I really need to tune to F, because that's right in the middle of the display, and that would make more sense. But hey, as long as they are tuned to each other, that's all that matters, unless you're playing with somebody else, in which case that gets a little bit more important. Just thinking of mixers in real time, like, yeah, for example, would it become impossible to amp your oscillators if they are placed too far from the VCAs? No, I mean, no. What do you mean by that? I'm just trying to grasp what it is you're asking. Would it become wasteful? No, wasteful in terms of voltage? Do you think you're going to get a voltage drop over a long cable? No, I don't think so. No, I don't fully understand, mate. You can have things wherever you like. Honestly, it makes no difference in terms of whether it works or not. It's purely on how your mind maps itself to what you can see and what you can touch. No. I mean, if you're using a 2-mile cable, then that's something. But I mean, I use cables like this all the time, which is 1.5 meters, possibly that twice, 1 meter maybe, 1.2 meters, let's say. Why not? Yeah, no, there's absolutely no problem. I mean, when you're patching something together, if you think about the amount of cables that are involved in that, if we were losing sound quality, the whole thing would be a disaster. But you're not really looking for sound quality with Modular, because we're using crappy cables, crappy mini jack connections. Really, how good is it actually honestly going to be? And if that's a concern, I don't really think you should be messing around in Eurorack. Go big format Modular, go 5U where you're using proper jack cables, and you can take care of the audio signal, and then you're going to want to be shielding your power supply and worrying about electromagnetic interference. It's a road to go down. I think there's nothing in patching a couple of cases together which is going to cause noticeable degradation in signal quality, I would suggest. I may be wrong, but that I don't think so. I mean, for instance, yesterday at Paulie's, I had 3 sort of 1.5 meter cables running from their clock to my clock over 3-4 meters, going through little junction boxes. It was fine once we got a junction box that worked. Yeah, the knob technology one here, full of color. Yeah, no, it is interesting. Define 5U, it's about that, I'd say. Probably a bit taller. Oh, if it's a real question. Well, Moog Modular was in 5U, 5-inch tall. If you talk about 1-inch rack units, which is what this is based on, Eurorack is 3U in height, 3 inches tall. Moog Modular or Moog units are 5 inches tall, generally speaking, and that's the old-fashioned, if you like, Modular, which still exists. People still make 5U stuff. Is that the question? It's not server racks, actually, it's audio racks. But hey, there we go. Yeah, no, Eurorack it certainly is a bit shit. If you're looking for pristine stuff, stick with software, I would suggest. Oh, does it? Oh, well, there we go. 1.75 inches. So I'm just looking at my my rack here. Yeah, no, you're right. It's bigger than my thumb. So yeah, I always get confused in which way around we're talking about. So it's oh no, hang on. Don't know. Give us a minute. What am I looking for? Oh, I remember. Nearly fell over. Oh, I must not knock cables. I've had a bad cable night tonight. So that's a 5U roughly. It's not exactly 5U. It's called metric 5U. I don't know what that means either. But this is Sam Battle's size of modular that he uses, which is Eurorack expanded to kind of a 5U form. Let's see if that fits on my 1, 2, 3. It's not quite 5, is it? Yeah, no, it is. 2, 3, more like 4 and a bit. I don't know. I'm talking about things I've got no idea about. But what am I trying to achieve? Does anybody know what I'm trying to achieve? There we go. See that? That's almost 5U, not quite 5U, I think. As opposed to Eurorack, which is 3U. And you're right, as your man said, Jack said in the chat, one U is more than an inch, 1.75 inches. Get that right. That's not helpful, is it? So, because it's your 1U size like you've got here and here, it's more than an inch. Good. Glad we got that sorted. No, there's also 4U, which is the surge panels. Surge panels are 4U big, just to be awkward. Oh, well, you're welcome. And there's 0U, of course, which is very exciting. Stuff that just doesn't take up any space at all. Right, well, so I'm just going to finish this and have a think. And then shall I patch something together? I'm just a little bit worried about my audio system today. Just seems to be out of whack. So I don't know how well that's going to function. I guess we're just going to have to try it and see. Cheers, Paulie. Take care. I'll talk to you at some point, I imagine. Thanks for the video. Nice one. Beautiful. I will stick that up. The Detroit Pink 87, I'm pretty sure, was an Etsy. Has an Etsy store. Have a look on there. There are 2 types of 1U, yes. Isn't that awesome? There's IntelliGel, and then there's Pulp Logic. That's right. That's to do with where the holes are. Because I can tell you why, in fact. I keep meaning to do a video on it, and then I keep forgetting. Because it's kind of interesting. In that, I think basically the difference, because I've got I don't have them to hand, otherwise I'd be able to show you physically. But the idea, I think, if I got this right, is that if you look at a case, I've got these cases here, as you can see. I don't know how much of the 1U you can see, which is 1U that is here. That you have this these barriers or boundaries either side of it, and what. So, you know, when you stick in a piece of Eurorack, it goes in a case, and there's a lip, this lip on either side that it goes in. Now, with Pulp Logic, when they started doing the 1U, they got rid of the lip. They just went straight through, so you got a completely flat panel. And so IntelliGel thought, well, no, we've got these lips around 3U normally, so they're going to use that lip around the 1U, and that encroaches on the 1U size a little bit. So IntelliGel is not strictly 1U high. It's 1U minus the little bits. So which fits nicely with the format which is there, but is not truly 1U, whereas Pulp Logic is truly 1U. So you have this difference in size by a tiny amount, which is really annoying and frustrating. So if you put an IntelliGel module into a Pulp Logic 1U row, it's slightly too small. And with Pulp Logic, they're slightly too big. And so that also affects where the screw positions are, so it's difficult to screw them in. It's a pain. It's one of those annoying things. Oh, sorry. I've just noticed I've got this here. Is that going to help me explain it a little bit? So yeah, with this, if you can see, this is a 1U row. This is supposedly 3 1U rows into a 3U space, if that makes sense. So 1U here, but it has this gap here, which represents where the case is. And there's an IntelliGel size bit that fits in there. If it was Pulp Logic, it would be bigger and fit over the ends of that. Does that make sense? It's just one of those things people weren't talking about. I'm pretty sure Pulp Logic did it first, and then IntelliGel just went, well, we're not going to do it like that. We're going to do it differently. And that's been a pain in the arse for everyone ever since. But I mean, the great thing about the Pulp Logic stuff is that you can create out of little 1U bits a completely flat little synthesizer without all these bits and pieces going in between all the time. So it makes the case much, much simpler. You can just put in some flat rails rather than lipped rails, and it works perfectly. And you can have like a whole grid of them. Whereas with IntelliGel ones, you can't really do that. It's much more to do with fitting in the aesthetic of their case. But they've become, I think, ultimately more popular because we like the case. And so other case manufacturers have gone with that. Whereas the Pulp Logic approach just seems a little bit more DIY and ad hoc and that kind of thing. Does that make sense? What is the bracket adapter thingy? Do I have another bit of case knocking around I could use? There we go. There we go. So this is from, oh, who's it from? Has it got written on it? No. I forget. But what it does, right, is it fits in there. Do you see that? And allows me to put in 3 little rows of 1U. Pretty genius. Pretty genius. So before I had a case that had 1U in it, and I was thinking about doing stuff on 1U, and there's some interesting bits. I got a hold of this. I'm just trying to put my eyes on a 1U anything. I mean, if I could pull this out of here for a minute. I forgot that was in there. I could have used that. Gee whiz. Stand by. Pop. So this is a little 1U module. Pops in there, look. Beautiful. Or pops in there. Gets it. It's great. The other thing to bear in mind that 1U stuff does sometimes come with an odd power supply, because the Pulp Logic stuff, they had a different power supply rather than the regular stuff that most modules use. So that's another slight annoyance that they put in. They sort of just ran it off a couple of, like this is adapted to, do you see? They just run it off a couple of pins like that, and they have a board that you stick these pins into. So that's another added complication of going for 1U. But yeah, these are useful. Is it Zodes who make these? Xones? I'm sure someone can tell us. But they do them in different sizes. You can get little ones, big ones. I got a few different ones at one time. I need to dig them out. Oh, I think they're all in those blue trays that I've stashed away in a box. Oh. But yeah, I've forgotten that I'd meant to do a big video on 1U, because it is interesting. I had these big plans. Oh, OX, I've got an OX in here. OX, I think they're by. So, you know, I was going to phone up IntelliJ and talk to them, things like that. I don't know whether I have the inclination at the moment. We shall see. We shall see. Did I finish that? I nearly did. It is Zodes. Yeah, okay. No, 1U modules, I mean, as far as IntelliGel goes, most of their 1Us are utilities. They did it as a utility row. Also, when you look in things like Make Noise cases, they use it for their shared system. So yeah, 1U has often been for utilities, but certainly not from Pulp Logic's point of view. It's been all of it. It's been, you know, everything you can get in that. And if you check out something like Mosaic, who are an offshoot of Qubit, all of their 1U modules are oscillators, filters, delays, sequencers. I mean, I've got over here, bend this up a little bit. I've got a Molten motion meter, which is a utility, I suppose, but I've got a drum machine sequencer here from Tubatech. That's some low pass gates. This is all drum modules here from the same people, from Zodes. That's why I was trying to get it in my head. Then there's an output module, which is a utility. Down here, I got another Molten motion meter, because you never have enough of those. And I've got an Arp of Darkness and a Sleight of Hand. So those are sequencers stroke arpeggiators. So yes and no, I would say. Yeah, the Mosaic tiles are really good. They're quite pretty. I've got their arpeggiator, which was really useful, really useful. A nice way of just starting some stuff up. So yeah, you can have 1U in your rack if that's something that you're missing that you need, and you don't have a 1U strip. I also do have, like I say, I put a lot of work into this 1U video I never made. I've got just a 1U row over there, just a single case that's just 1U, which is quite groovy. That's like USB powered, which I thought was very cool. But again, I haven't got around to doing it. And also, the reason why I know that about the Pulp Logic IntelliJ thing is because I had a case built many, many years ago, which was originally going to be built for the Behringer 2600. Then I fell out with Behringer, so I told them to stuff it. And got the guy who was building the case to, could you just make it into Eurorack? And he went, yeah, what do you want? I said, well, a couple of rows of 3U and 1U. So he did that, but he doesn't know Eurorack. He had no idea what it was supposed to be. So he put it in, as you'd imagine, 3U and 1U to be, so without any gaps or making any allowances. So essentially the 1U row on it is true 1U, and so it's Pulp Logic by accident. So I was quite happily buying IntelliJ modules and couldn't fit it in because I had no idea that there was a difference. So I stumbled upon this thing. That was years ago. I really should get around to doing that. Oh, it'll be great, Jimmy. It'll be great. It carries on being useful, I have to say. It really is a useful thing, and I enjoy the colours, and I enjoy the visualization every time I use it. I confess, even talking for myself, my own product, it is a useful thing. It doesn't get used all the time, I have to say, but it's a good way of calming something down and making you go, right, okay, I know what I'm doing with that, and I can put it purposefully through it so I can make sure I know what that's doing and use it properly, rather than just having a mass of modulation knocking around. It sort of channels modulation, which I like really well. And this one over here, which is not lit, that's a worry. Oh, this it is. It just needed a little knock. It's just all down. Okay. I tend to use as a percussion mixer. That one's not going anywhere. Should it go somewhere? Oh, that's better. I don't know. Try not to worry about these things. I use that to mix my little 1U drum modules here. So I've got, kick, snare and hi-hat just on those three. And that's nice. I've got that rooted. I mean, I've got this whole little system here, like I say, which worked really well at my EMOM I did a couple of weeks ago. Didn't work at all yesterday. I couldn't seem to find it. But I've got the Detroit Pink 87 What's It going through DivKid mutes, going to the modules, going to the Molten motion meter, with a little bit of trace I put in between because that was fun to create variation, to take something out of the bit bridge. What's it? He's still with me, the bit buddy, mixing it into the trace with the Detroit, and then being able to sort of fade and morph between them. It's brilliant, totally brilliant. Doesn't make any sense at all. Griffiths, thank you for that. That's much appreciated. That's awesome. I think I'm supposed to do a dance or something when someone throws money at me, but hey, that's not my scene, man. So, but thank you ever so much. That's much. That's super. I will spend that on myself. Oh dear. Steve, hi. Steppy 1U. Cool. Yeah, Bit Buddy, that's the fella. I don't know who makes it. Some bunch of clowns, I think. Right, I think, at the very least, I'm worried about being able to hear anything. What can I do? I can try. I guess that's the answer, isn't it? I wanted to put something through the Knob Technology What's It, because it was really nice, and I want to have a little explore of that. Let me see what can I run through that would be interesting. I think I went from there before. and then I can run it through a whole stack of effects just for fun. No, I use it. I mean, Rebus is a Tuesday. Dreadbox is Tuesdays. Tuesday's a Dreadbox day. All I do all day on Tuesdays play with Dreadbox stuff. Every brand's got a day, and I fit them all into my 3-day week. Is the bypass going to appear in 1U? I don't know. I don't know that it is. I'll talk to Bafako about it. We should probably have a chat about it at some point. It's it could do. I mean, everything I think can work in 1U. I think that gives it a different vibe. I just wonder about the cables. It does require a lot of cabling, because I've got, you can see those up here. So I've got two lots of bypasses set up here, and it does require a bit of stuff. But then I wonder if it was in 1U, whether that would make that a bit clearer, a bit simpler, rather than having this coming alongside. Yeah, I mean, I quite like I like doubling up on stuff. As you know, I'm always going on at Bafako. So, we could have like a 6-channel Molten motion meter or whatnot. But you could have 2 Molten bypasses, you know, in a 1U module. But then why would you do that? Why don't we just buy 2 if you had one, and then it's a bit more versatile that way? I don't know. Maybe because you could have some normalization. You could have 2 different things going on. Don't know. Well, so what I'll do, let's see if I can get some sound out, and I'll will making complete sense all the time. So let's just do some random patching. So I'm going to send it to the Echo Cinematic, because that's just the most fantastic thing. So I think that's the output. I'm going to the top of my bypass over there. That's a bit of that. Could I bring that camera in? Is that going to be helpful? Maybe. Let's see what I can do with that. I can do that. Is that better? 1 second. Let me do it. It was a bit like that. Whoop. Is that good? Yeah, all right, let's do that. So, excuse me, I need to bring another long cable out. Oh, is that one gone? Take that out of there. To channel 1, I'm going to make use of the Zircon while I have it. Now we need to master out, going into... what did I do with that? Oh, I was going to go into there. That's another long one. Down there, into there. Oh, okay, got a level. Come out of there. Into there. Just get out of it. Dum-de-dum, dum-de-dum. Well, heck, while I'm here, let me use the Arp of Darkness, because then you'll be able to see that, more or less, and that might be more interesting. So I take the CV out of that, plug that into Voltage Octave, give it a clock. Is that going? That's going. Let's take the clock out of there. That's going a bit crazy. Let's have that one. The Arp of Darkness could do with lights. That's the one thing it's missing, is any sort of visualization as to what the heck's going on. Nothing happening over there so far. Okay. Still nothing. It's coming through the reverb. It's going to there. Got nothing over there at the moment. That light is peaking. Turn that down a little bit.
Bring that up. It's going to go to mix out A or AB. Going to there. I haven't routed that yet. Okay, there's always another thing. Not going to go to there. Take those out. Dum-de-dum, dum-de-dum. Those patches from scratches are always so exciting. Oh, just give me two the same size. Come on. There we go. So, left and right. Stop it. Still nothing. Alright, got a light on there, got a light on there, got nothing happening over there. 1, 2. Okay, good. We've made some progress. So I've got something there, right. Alright, give us a sec. Oh, those are plugged in. 3 and 4. Oh, I know. 1. Why do I have that coming through? That's driving me nuts. Anyway, I'm going to have to be able to hear something. Let's pull that down. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, try that. One, two. Now, I've got an echo over myself, which is really frustrating. If I do that, I've got that back. 1, 2. I've still got going on. Still got it going on. 1, 2. Just going to have to deal with it.
That's right. Is that sounding all right? The echo. Yeah. So I'm just gonna patch a couple more things in, so I can't stand the echo, and just see how it goes. So I won't talk for a little bit. All right. I've worked it out, right? I'm getting double monitoring through my system here, so I'm hearing everything twice, and I can't hook into where the kick drum is. Sorry, you're listening to this, I can't hear. I can't. It's just like I don't know what's going on. I can't hook into it. So I've just thought if I put it through headphones, then I can turn it down over there. So I'm monitoring locally. I won't have to hear the repeat. Oh, that's so much better.
I'm acing that.
going to turn that down a little bit. Right, so how are we doing? Are we doing all right out there? I'm having a lot of fun. And sorry, I tend to forget that you're sitting there going, "Why? He's not telling us anything very interesting." Can you hear my voice okay? I think with everything else going on. What's going on here? Good question. The one next to the what view are you on? You're still on that view. Okay, the one next to here. This is the Knob Technology. Could be Carine or N Carine. Not entirely sure. It's a VCO from Knob Technology, which has got some jiggery pokery built in, which I was playing with. At the moment, I've just routed what that was doing to the plasma voice, because I like to do that. I like to do that. It took me a little while to get there this time. As I say, I got really messed up by the double monitoring I was getting. I think that's all to do with the fact that just as I started the live stream, the audio interface, I knocked the audio interface and it dropped its connection, and that's messed me up right royally. So I'm going to need to investigate that, because that doesn't normally happen. But now I'm on the headphones, I know a bit more what's going on. I can hear it, and it sounds all right. Messed around with the algo for a while. That wasn't working, was it? Could not get that to tune in. But then what I did is I pulled out all but one of the oscillators. Makes that a little bit simpler. Then found it. Then was able to make a tune on the A squirrel here, and not too bad. And I've introduced a couple of the things back in again now. But it's quite nice, quite squelchy. I swapped the effects as well. To put the algo through the Echo Cinematic, which I'm really enjoying the Echo Cinematic at the moment. It's one of my favourite things. It just creates this feedback loop, which is just superb, and is at the same time sort of EQ scanning itself. So kind of a filter running over it, slowly modulating itself with this delay feedback thing and a reverb built into itself. It's just really nice. Thanks, Thomas. I appreciate that. Have I done any of my personal workflow videos? Not. See, the interesting thing with that is that suggests that I have a workflow, which I don't. I am. I'm a few years into this now, I suppose, so I really should be sorting myself out. But every time I sit down with it, it's kind of a new experience. I don't have anything particular that I'm going to do. I've tried to replicate what I did yesterday, and I haven't been able to do that. It's much more okay, I'm gonna put something into this and see what happens, and then plug that around the place and sort of build a patch from there. I've acquired enough knowledge, I suppose, to know that I can run some drums off that, I can run a sequence off that, I can put that through that effect, and that will sound nice. But a lot of it is still trial and error, and full of error. And then I found something nice, So now I have this thing going on. I don't have any clue how to change it, how to morph it into something else. That requires more planning and more knowledge and more something that I don't currently possess. But yeah, I would like to do more videos on that sort of thing. Just how it should be. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, Marco. I don't have an up-to-date thing on Modular Grid, because literally I put this together the other day for taking round to Paulie. I wish I could be more helpful with that. I'm planning on being more helpful in that regard. I think that would be, yeah, that would be nice. I often do, when I do an EMOM, for instance, which I try to do every month, but it usually ends up being about 4 times a year. I do a patch breakdown of what I used and what I did. So I did one recently. I did the November one. So a couple of weeks ago I did a video breaking down the patch. Much of what I've got here was in that. So no, I don't have time, mate, to make a list. I'm sorry. I did a video that showed the whole thing. You can look at the video and I talk about them and I point them out and that kind of thing. I'm not going to be making lists, sorry. I don't have the time. The reality of my work here is that I have precious little time, unfortunately. I have to be making a living, which is very difficult at the moment. So I'm having to put sort of 95% of my energy into writing articles and keeping the wolf from the door, and the rest of the time I do my best to put into some videos which I think might be interesting, or stuff that I've been sent that I need to do videos on, you know, because videos are important too, and I desperately want to do those more than anything. So I'd love nothing more than to do a nice detailed video on 1U, for instance, and to do a video on my workflow, and to do videos on some of these cool modules that I haven't yet done videos on, you know, lots and lots I'd love to be able to do. Yeah, it's just tricky to make a living doing that, sadly. Hey, but if you all go out there and buy a mug, yeah, and you just never know. Who knows? Don't mean to moan about it. It's not something I thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing. So that's great. That's great. So yeah, Marco, don't worry. Sorry, I didn't mean to be. Just that no, I can't. Sadly, that would be a lovely thing to do, and I'm unable to do it right now. Trial and fail forward. Yes, that's definitely the way. Well, I feel like I'm missing the music because I'm not going to be headphones on now. So where are we? What time are we on? 20 to 10. All right, I'll do another. I'll do it as it's sounding nice. I'll play with this a little bit longer and then we'll call it a day. So this week, I'll just bring it down a little bit more. This week, just to let you know what's happening or in the coming bits. Oh, Matt, cheers. Thanks, mate. Oh, you're super. I'm going to get to come round your house one of these days and we'll play some games and we'll fiddle with some Modular. That would be ace. We're going to have to make that happen, right? In the next year or two. Let's see if we can make that happen. That'd be ace. So what I'm saying, so this week what I'm going to do, I am, because it happens to be my birthday on Tuesday, you know, which there's no thing, because it's my oldest, it's his 18th birthday tomorrow. He snuck in there and got himself born the day before my birthday, it just turns out to be a pain in the ass. It means my birthday means nothing anymore. That's okay, I'm kind of over it. But it's Alfie's 18th tomorrow, which is amazing, and he's gone out tonight with taking his little brother out to get lost somewhere in the woods, because he's like, well, it's my last chance to do something really stupid. So that's what he's doing, out in the dark and the cold and the wet. I hope he's all right. When I come out for NAMM, yeah, maybe I'm gonna have to try to talk somebody into sponsoring me for a NAMM trip sometime. That would be the one. That's the way to do it, Matt. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So anyway, so for my birthday on the Tuesday, I'm gonna go sod it to work, and I'm gonna build some things I want to build. So of course it's work at the same time, because I can't quite rationalize that. So I'm gonna have a go and see what I can build. So I'm planning to build the Dreadbox Nix, because that's not hard, and that's gonna be a nice quick one. I'm gonna build that. I'm gonna build the Scrooge, where I've got here. See the little fella in there? You should probably be on a bigger screen like this, shouldn't we? What? There we go. I'm going to build the Scrooge, this little fella here. Drum machine, which looks like fun. I'll give that a go. Then I might build the Basilisk, the red Basilisk, if I've got time. Or I might build the Biopower joystick controller that goes with this. And there's a controller module. It might be too much, which is a thing. So I've got, you know, stuff in here. There's a joystick, all sorts. I mean, that might be a lot of fun. So I might give that a go. Haven't quite decided yet, but I'll start with the Dreadbox, because, you know, somebody sent me for the purpose of actually doing that video, so I need to get that done, and that will be fun. I'll enjoy that. So that's my plan for this week. Otherwise, I've got more writing to do, more Studio One workshops. I've got articles on new wave music and the Nord Modular to write, and also I do actually have an article to write on playing Modular live, which is quite exciting. So I've got a few things to say about that, and yeah, just keep it going. Try to stay afloat. Try to get the Etsy store working. Going to try to finish my decent sampler. Sample instrument, which is very cool. I'm very excited about that. I'm excited about many things. This is the weird thing. I should be more terrified of of none of it working. Yeah, no, William, you're dead right. Live, I will be recording it. I'm not sure about live streaming it because, well, you know, I mean, if you've seen in my DIY videos lately, I've done it in a live stream style. So I've done it like in the 2-camera thing, you know, like we've got here, and I've recorded that in one session straight into my computer rather than recording individual cameras and editing it later. And that has the pro of being much quicker to do, less video editing, but the downside being I've got to get it right. So in the last video I did, the div skip rather, I spent a lot of time on the wrong shot, you know, which is very frustrating because you can't do it over again when it's a DIY. So I had lots of me in the corner of the screen in a little corner here doing something that no one can really see. So that's the danger of doing it in that way. But it has worked out overall, I think, and it makes the edit that bit slower. Obviously, if I do it in a live stream, I don't need to edit it at all. However, there could be large, long bits where, you know, I have to go for a wee or get a coffee, or something's not quite working, I need to go and find something out, and that will end up making a very long video. However, on the other hand, I might live stream it on my phone just as a, you know, that sort of thing, which could be fun or not, I don't know. I mean, who wants to turn on Facebook and see me? I don't know. Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I did all of those live streams with the Erica Synth stuff that while ago, and that was fun. That was good, but it was long, you know, because I had to sort of stay here and stay focused. I couldn't just wander off and take breaks and things. So I'm inclined to film it, edit it, post it, really, because that allows me to try to keep the video size under control, to speed bits up so it's not too boring, and stuff like that. So I think that'll probably be the plan. I'll see how it goes anyway. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I'll probably be down the police station fetching Alfie from some kind of disaster. I won't get a chance to do any of it. Anyway, so I think what I'll do is I'll just push the mic away, I'll put my headphones on, I'll play with this patch a little bit longer, and I'll say goodnight in sort of 10 minutes or something. Yeah? Alright, thanks for being with me. Fun, yeah, lots of fun. Fun. Huh, says Ryan. I don't know if it's a skill. But thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'll take that. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for... Sorry, Ryan, are you trying to talk to me? Is that Division 6 module amongst your rack modules? Yes, it is. That's a Tubatech. Is that what you're talking about? Division 6? No, I don't think so. Are you talking about the ARP and the what's it? I don't know what I'm talking about currently. Thank you, lovely. That was fun. In terms of transitions is something that I'm looking for. I'm actively trying to find, because I don't feel I've got it. I can't seem to get the hang of it. But the plasma voice is really lending itself to a transition, because if you modulate the sound selection, which is what I'm doing, you can get these great percussive runs with it. So, but you have that by shifting the banks all the way over to the percussive side of the module, if you like, and you can have all that doing its thing, which is great. But then you can just, with the dial, shift it back to the more melodic sounds and sort of pull out a sequence from it, but it still has that percussive flavour, and that's been really good. I'm enjoying that a huge amount, and it's quite fierce, but it's also good if you use it sparingly. So rather than having it squelching and spitting its way all the way through, just to use it from time to time, I've found is great. And honestly, the transitions I did were mainly because I couldn't get the algo to do what I thought. It seemed to be finding itself out of the tune, whatever it was I was tuned to, it was not finding it. Usually the algo, you just sort of move the harmonics about and it just fits beautifully, but this time it wasn't. So rather than fighting it, I just shifted the whatever it was that was playing it, I shifted it into the Custer and Pollux VCO here, which I wasn't doing anything with, and used that instead. Had it routing through the same effects and thought, wow, that's amazing. I'll keep that going, and then played with that. So the transitions were really more about discovery. They weren't intentional, other than the fact I was pushed into having to make a change. So I did, and just see what happens, you know. I'm forever pressing the wrong mute button and forgetting, and that's one issue, is that if I'm shifting the output of something that something was using to something else, the mixer is no longer showing what I thought it was, and so I get myself very easily confused. But hey, that's fun. I had the diff skid running into Trinity, making some sort of attempt at some drums. I don't know the diff skip quite well enough to know what I'm doing with that, but it was not displeasing. Once I'd got the kick on the to the floor, more or less, then that felt all right. I'm also getting to know the Trinity a bit better now as well, which I've meant to do a video on for probably 2 years, and haven't quite gotten around to, because every time I sit down with it just feels that little bit, it requires a little bit too much. I can't just turn it on and go, yeah, this is great, let's make a video. I turn it on and go, oh yeah, okay, yeah, all right, that's working nicely, but I don't know how or why yet, and I'm gonna have to sit down and work that out. By the time I've come to that conclusion, I've moved on to something else, that's kind of sums up my life, really. If it's too complicated, I just have to move on. But anyway, yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I don't know what was going on with that sequence. It was a sequence that was already in it. The one that had the crazy portamento or the glide in it. I didn't even know this could do glide. Does this do glide? It evidently does. I must have worked that out at some point, but that wasn't on purpose. It was just the sequence that was in the box from last time I played with it, and put that in there, and that would just seem to fit nicely. But there does seem to be a lot of tones in this Carnegie, Carene, and it's a very colourful module. I'm going to see, because it's not fair that nothing is fair in terms of how I make videos, so I'm feeling like I'd like to do one on that because I'm really enjoying it. You know, it's kind of that easy. So if you've sent me a video, if you've sent me a module that I haven't done a video on, it might be because I haven't found my joy in it yet, and that just sometimes takes time, and I'm sorry about that. I'd love to just be able to churn out videos. I can't, I don't have the time, but I'm planning to. I'm hoping to buy some time at some point. That would be nice. Neo Trinity, yeah, not in the rack at the moment. It's a good, the Neo Trinity is a great module for a small system that you need a lot of functionality in one module. I got some really good fun use out of it, but I found other modules that do it and are easier to work with because it's quite compact. There's quite a lot going on in a small space, so I haven't persevered with that necessarily. I've used some other things which have elements of it, and I found that slightly easier. But if you're in a small setup, it gives you envelopes, it gives you modulation, it gives you sequencing, all in one little thing, which is pretty brilliant. But I need more room than that, particularly when I'm playing live, I find. Cool. Right, anyway, I'm not going to keep you. I need to find out what's happened to my kids. Hope that they're still alive somewhere. That was a couple of hours ago. So I will leave it there, I think. So yeah, lots of stuff coming up. I'll post that thing with me and Paulie as it is, I think, and so other people can look at it. Thanks, Milky. Don't know what that's about. Something happening Norwich, always good. So yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll let you go. Thanks for all your company. Appreciate you being here. Usually tells me how many there are. I've got no idea, no one at all, because I messed it up earlier. So yeah, go and make some tunes, and if I don't speak to you again, have a really happy Christmas. I will try. Will I get a Molten monthly out before Christmas? Unlikely, but I might do. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to throw one in that dead time in between Christmas and New Year. But hey, I've got family and stuff coming. 7/12th, new place in Norwich. Okay, cool. Am I playing? Experimental and folk collide. Okay, German lattice and local folk legend Chris Keane. That's exciting. I did my dissertation on folk music. I'm an old folkie, don't you know? Hey, Knob Technology is there. Yeah. Have you tried synthesizing Neurobase? I don't know what a Neurobase is. What chain do you use for that? Don't know. That's a question. Doesn't mean anything to me. But don't let that be a worry. I'm not very up on the buzzwords of things. No, I wasn't supposed to pick them up this time. I don't know. They're lost in the woods somewhere. So sorry, Knobtech. We're just heading off. So I don't have time to research and find out what on earth you're asking us. But I'm enjoying the VCO. If you can tell me how to pronounce it, that would be great. Send it to me phonetically or something, and I can work that out. Cool. Right, I'll clear off. See you later. See you later. Who knows?